Hi, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. In this lesson we're going to learn how to play the main parts of Bernard Edwards' bass line to We Are Family, originally sung by Sister Sledge. There's only 3 or 4 sections we're going to look at, and 2 of those sections are variations of the first section. Essentially we've got the chorus groove, then we've got a verse groove, and then we've got a couple of variations of fills I'm going to show you for the chorus groove. This song's all about learning the part and just playing it over and over, and making everything else in the band feel good. On our side of the pond, this is a staple song of most dance bands' repertoire, although most dance bands do play this too fast and don't let it breathe a bit, but there you go. That's often dictated by the band leader, rather than listen to the original. If you listen to the original now, it does sound quite slow, but it's a great bass line. It's not that tricky. Some nice syncopation going on, especially in the chorus section. Some nice little things in the verse section too. For this one, I had my keyboard player play the basic piano line so you can hear everything in context. I got that MP3, and then originally I uploaded that, but the YouTube copyright filters flagged it, so I deleted it and I've uploaded it again, but I've slowed it down, so hopefully this one will go through. Just before we go and look at the chorus and the main groove of the song, if you're not a subscriber to my free monthly e-zine, click on the link underneath the video, head over to my website and subscribe. There's a free monthly song tutorial with video and PDF. And also you get a sequence of free video and PDF lessons as a thank you for entrusting me with your email address. So go do that and then come back and we'll go and look at the basic groove stroke chorus for We Are Family by Sister Sledge, bassline by Bernard Edwards. With the basic 4-bar pattern that anchors the chorus and the main groove of the song. I'll play this 4 bars with the metronome. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you'll be back into it. So, note-wise, it's pretty straightforward. We're going from an A chord to a G chord to a D chord, back to a G chord. For copyright reasons, I don't spell out the exact qualities of the chords. And mostly, we're going from A, and we've got the octave, that's the 5th and the 7th frets of the E and D strings. Then we've got G and the octave, which is G. Low G is 3rd fret of the E string, high G is 5th fret of the D string, and we've got C going up to D, that's the 3rd and 5th fret of the A string. We've also got the octave of D, which is the 7th fret of the G string, and then we're back down to G. So those are the notes that we're going to use, and what we've got is this kind of thing: 2, 3, 4. So the first bar we've got, and what's interesting about this is the kind of the root note is always anticipated on the 8th note before the end of the bar. So the first, we've got low A, 2 more low A's, high A, low A, then down to G. So you get rhythm 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the second bar, we're going down to G. You've got G anticipated on the last 8th note of the previous bar, the low G, then you've got another low G, then you've got this figure of 2 low Gs, octave G, low G again. Then here, you've got C hammering onto D, 3rd and 5th frets of the A string, and that D is the anticipation for the D for the 3rd bar. So you get C to D, another low D, then 2 low Ds, a high D and a low D, and then back down to G. And then the last bar, you got that little variation G to A. So you've got, it's identical to the second bar except those last two notes, which leads you back into the pattern. So the notes are fairly straightforward. The thing to work on is getting, and it's especially the little bit in the middle where you've got the sequence where you've always got two low notes, the octave, and back to the low note over the space of 4/16 notes. So that's pretty much the verse. Plays through on the record, on the intro, it plays through that twice, and then there's a variation the third time through where you've got this fill, which you can either play with your fingers or you can pull it as if you were slapping and popping. That fill starts on the first bar, the first bar of the third playthrough, and you've got C to C sharp, 5th and 6th frets of the G string. You've got G to A, 5th and 7th frets of the D string. F sharp to G, 4th and 5th frets of the D string, and then you're back into the riff. So that also occurs a few times in the tune. So that's the basic pattern that you use for the choruses, and it's also the main groove of the song. Let's go and have a look at the verse pattern, which is quite different. Verse pattern is a 2-bar pattern that repeats 8 times, I think it is, for the duration of the verse. I'll play it through with the metronome slowly, then we'll talk through the notes. 3, 4. Etc. You'll notice this pattern is very much on the beat. So what we've got for the first bar of this verse pattern, and that E that we finish off holds into the downbeat of the next bar. So what you've got is 2 low A's, 5th fret of the E string, or you could play it open string, but I prefer to play 5th fret. Then the next 2 notes are C sharp and E, the 4th and 7th frets of the A string. Then you've got this pattern, which is a hammer-on from G to A, 5th and 7th frets of the D string. Hammer-on from D to E, 5th and 7th frets again, this time the A string. Then you've got the open A string, and then you've got E. And that E is held over into the downbeat of the next bar. And the second bar, I'll follow on from the first bar. So what you've got is you've got this E, which is held over from the last 8th note of the first bar. You've got octave E, the 9th fret of the G string. Then you've got open E string down to D, the 5th fret of the A string, to octave D, the 7th fret of the G string. And then the very last 16th note, you've got like a dead note, which leads back into the pattern. And that pattern plays over and over. 8 times I think it plays. The last time through the verse pattern, you've just got to bring the chorus back in, or transition to the chorus at the end of it, by playing an anticipated 8th note. Something like this. etc. And that will bring the chorus back in and go through the pattern that we looked at the start of the lesson. There's one more variation of the chorus I want to look at before we close the lesson out, and that has a fill, which if you know the tune, I'm sure you'll recognise the fill. It's around the 3 minutes 20 mark of the song, something like that, depending on which version you're listening to. So let's go and listen to that. Okay, so you just heard me play the section with the fill. Comes, as I said, around the 3 minute 20 mark of the song. If you know the song, I'm sure you'll recognise that section. Basically, we're going to play something like this. So it's the basic riff, but when we get onto the D, we don't go back down to the G, and then we play, which is D, D sharp, E, F. It's the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th frets of the A string, and then the last 3 notes, G, G sharp, A, 5th, 6th and 7th frets of the D string. So the whole pattern. And then from there, depending on your band's arrangement, you might be back in to the chorus again. There might be a breakdown. There's plenty of ways you can go from there. But putting those parts together will give you 97, 98% of the tune.